Hello, welcome to Do Life. We are back again with a very important, exciting, provoking subject. I believe you've been waiting for this time. I have with me Pastor K, affectionately called and popularly known as Pastor Kirkpatrick from Greensboro, North Carolina, Abundant Life International Church. He is a very precious leader and also a man, I call him a man of the hour. It's a joy to always have you. We've been spending some quality time in discussing the future of our world. And today we'll be talking about leadership. I know you have some questions that you want to ask, and we referred that these questions be asked so that it will benefit everyone else. But it's always a joy to have you. How is the family?
Family's doing well. Thank you, sir, for asking. And it's always a joy to be in your presence and just share with you on this platform, Do Life Television. And I'm so excited about all the things that we're hearing, the good reports of the people who have been blessed and their lives have been transformed and their thinking has been changed. And so again, thank you again for this opportunity to share with you today.
Well, it's always a joy. I mean, there are some people you like to be around. I don't care whether you're a leader or you're a follower.
Wow.
When you are with certain people, they bring the best out of you. I mean, every leader or every follower ought to connect with people who can bring the best out of them or help them to be the best version of who they're supposed to be. And you are one of a kind. I mean, you ask very serious questions. And also, when I'm engaging with you in discussions, you really bring some critical points. And I do think as we are dealing with timely subjects, like COVID-19, with this surging of the virus and flattening in many areas, and people are out of business, out of work, and our world is all overturned around. There's a lot of confusion out there.
Yes.
People don't know what to make of all these challenges. And it calls for serious dialogue.
Yes, sir.
So I'll throw the ball back in your court and let's get rolling.
Absolutely. Well, you said it right. There's a lot of challenging times that we've encountered, and there are more challenging days ahead. There's crisis in our land. And I think that to a large extent, the crisis is because of a lack of leadership. You know, leadership is a word that's been thrown around. We've heard many people talk about leadership, and they've given certain definitions of leadership. And looking at you, you're one of the greatest leaders I know today. And so I thought it would be fitting to begin our conversation, our dialogue, with this question. What is leadership? If you could break down in layman's terms and help our audience to understand what leadership is, what would you say? How would you define leadership?
It's a very tall order. I would define leadership in 5 different sentences. First one, I would say that leadership is defined as the opportunity to influence others positively.
Yes.
Now, you can influence people negatively, but for me, I define leadership as the opportunity to influence others positively. Number 2, I define leadership as one who stands at the head of a pack and move them towards a goal. One who stands as the head of a pack and moves a group of people towards one goal. Or towards a positive direction or good direction. And number 3, I define a good leader as one who creates opportunities for others.
Wow, that's good.
If you find somebody who can create opportunities for others, that person is a leader. And number 4, a leader is one who achieves results. A leader is one who achieves results. And number 5, a leader is one who looks for opportunities for others to benefit.
Wow.
This is how I defend leadership.
That's awesome. Great. Let me ask you something. When you think about leadership and you think about all the great qualities you've just mentioned, is a leader someone who is born, or is a leader someone who grows and develops into becoming a person of influence?
I'll say both. Every one of us is born to lead, at least to lead our lives.
Yes.
So a leader doesn't begin when you go outside the first assignment. Our first assignment is to be able to lead our lives effectively and also successfully.
Yes.
So if a person cannot lead his or her own life, how can they be a leader to others?
Wow.
So a leader is one who takes not only opportunities to do good, but to take opportunities and also accept responsibilities. Now, if one is going to be a good leader and the person can bring a group of people to benefit and also to give or introduce them to a common value and move them forward and make their lives better, then we say this one is a good leader.
That's good.
People are born with special gifts. Every one of us, I conclude, that have 5 gifts. God gave each one of us 5 gifts. We have gifts, we have talents, we have abilities, we have our call, and also we have our desires.
Wow.
Every human being is supposed to have this. You should, have gifts. Discover, but find it out. Your talents, your abilities,
Yes.
your true calling in life, and also define your own desires. Those who discover very early and accept responsibilities and willing to improve not only their lives but the lives of others are leaders.
That's good.
That's why we say some are born leaders.
Yes, sir.
You put children together, put kids together, one person will emerge as directing everyone. Let's do this. Let's go here. Let's go here. It's in us. It's in us. We take charge when others don't know what to do. It means such one is a leader. Then also there are those who discover later on in life that leadership also is an art. I have to develop this art, or I have to master this art. So you find people who may be very timid or feel weak or inadequate, but an occasion or situations will arise where they have to step up
Yes.
and take on responsibility. That is a leader in making, or one who became a leader, if you may use this word, by default. There are so many people who don't know that there's leadership in them until occasion calls or there's a demand, which they accept the challenge and step in. So yes, some are born leaders and some develop leadership.
That's good. That's
Yes.
great. So let's talk for a moment about, you talked about calling, and I want to just shift gears for a moment. I mean, you said some words that's very powerful, and I'm going to come back to this word responsibility momentarily, because I think that's something we really need to talk about, especially in this crisis. You know, people taking responsibility for their own lives, not necessarily putting the responsibility in the hands of the government or the hands of, something outside of themselves to bring change. Well, since we're here, let's go ahead and ask you this. Do you feel like people have abdicated their responsibility, especially in a crisis time? Do you feel like sometimes people allow circumstances to cause them not to see the true leader that they are? Do you feel like circumstances can blind people to their leadership, and as a result of that, they don't take responsibility to enact change in their lives?
Yes, absolutely. We live in a world where blaming someone is easier than accepting responsibilities. We look to people when we're supposed to be providing.
Wow.
We're always asking when we're supposed to be giving. You know, in our world today, it is true that there's so many things happening. Many times we ask for privileges, but the question is, are we willing to be responsible and also not only enjoy benefits, but be responsible for the opportunities we have, which we call benefits? When you ask for a role, a position, and you get that position, work to honor that position.
Yes.
If you get privileges without responsibility, then you are a user. And it's very common then to shift blame and blame other people.
Yes.
We all have to find ways to lead our lives, lead for the sake of our destiny, and also lead for the benefit of all. Don't always wait to be called upon, and don't wait until everything is destroyed. There's always a need, and there's always a want, and also there's always challenges.
Yes.
And there are many things that need answers. If you have an answer, at least attempt to make a difference.
Wow.
And put out the quality of a true leader. There are those who shun responsibilities because they don't want to make mistakes, because they fear. They have a sense of perfectionism.
Yes.
And they want to be perfect.
Yes, sir.
So if they are going to do something or do anything in the form of attempt to do good, and it will not come out in their minds as perfect as it should be, they back off.
Wow. Wow.
At least nobody is a failure until you stop trying.
Yes.
A leader is not afraid to fail. And if you're not afraid to fail, you have confidence always to succeed.
That's great.
So that's what leaders are supposed to do. As a leader, you try. The best you can do is to try.
Yes.
If you think you are a failure, it's because you didn't try to pick yourself up and try again.
Yes.
Leaders don't stop trying until they perfect whatever drives them to do right.
Wow.
And to do good.
That's good. One of the things you talked about was the 5 things you expressed earlier as it relates to the qualities of leaders. You talked about the calling. You talked about calling. So I want to talk about calling for a moment, because there are people watching who may feel like they have a call. You know, it might be a call into corporate America, it may be a call into ministry, maybe a call into government, but they're not quite sure, you know, what that call looks like. How can a person identify? What are some of the things that they can do to identify their calling in life?
Now, we are sitting right here. When I call your name out, you respond. When I mention your name, it means I'm calling you.
Yes.
When you respond, it means you responded to the call. There are times nobody will be in a room, you'll be by yourself, and you think somebody's calling you. And you think loud, and you speak to yourself. Anything that comes out from within, deep, which eventually becomes a conviction, or something that calls you to action, or something that demands of you, for which a mission can be defined, is a call.
Wow.
There's a call for every one of us. There are some people who do things and they say to you, this is my call. Why? Because they feel committed to what they do. It may not pay much. It may not be too glorified, but they find their comfort, they find their satisfaction, and they find their peace in doing that work.
Wow.
That is a call.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we are called. Every one of us is called. But if you are called, normally it is not you initiating it. It is a deep conviction, a voice, or a challenge that would request your presence your involvement, your skills, your wisdom, or your energy for positive action. So there are those who are waiting for thundering and lightning, and it doesn't happen that way.
Yeah.
I mean, occasionally there are those who say, you know what, I didn't know this was what I was supposed to do until I got so miserable and all doors were shut. I lost my peace until I decided, you know what, I'm going to do this. At least let me try.
Yeah.
And when I started it, I fell in love with it, and I just got excited about it. And also, you can tell when a person is in the right call. Anything that you do, that you love doing, even though you don't get paid, and if nobody is to recognize you and you still do, it's your calling or your purpose in life.
Wow.
Because calling and purpose is one thing. Whatever is your calling is your purpose in life, is your mission in life. So we all have missions. God created us. We have visions.
Yes.
We have missions.
Yes.
And if you have a mission, you have to fulfill that mission.
Wow.
So that's what calling is.
That's awesome. So what I'm hearing you say in essence is that my purpose is going to be connected to my passion.
Perfect.
Yeah, great. Let me ask you this. What do you feel is the biggest challenge facing leaders today?
The biggest challenge facing leaders today is the I, me, and myself is greater. A leader doesn't focus on him. A leader is we and us.
That's good.
A leader is one who is willing to give his best to the benefit of all. The challenge of leaders today is many of us want shortcuts, and at times we like the praises of men, and we will do anything to be recognized rather than let our works bring about our recognition. Some of the challenges that leaders are facing today is that they become egoistic. I, me, and myself. Look at me. It's all about me. It's I, and all by myself. And without me, nobody. Without me, nothing is done. And this is what we call selfishness intertwined with a call. That doesn't make you a good leader. We have challenges in leadership. A leader who leads a people, who is head of a pack, is looking for the value and benefit of all. And when everybody wins, that is when he says, we win.
Wow.
Because he or she is selfless. It's not about them.
Yes.
It's about the benefit of others. We have a society today where leadership is in decline. People like power, people like positions, and they are not putting out the positive kind of influence. So what we are creating today, we are creating young people or millennials who are looking for power without responsibility.
Wow.
That is dangerous. And when people become self-centered, they don't care whether the world falls apart. As long as they get their groove or get their benefits, that's what they look for. That doesn't make one a good leader.
Wow.
Our nations are struggling. Our governments are struggling. We are polarized by politics.
Yes.
The church is actually at a crossroads. The marketplace is looking for leaders. In the home, in the family, wives are looking for leaders. Children are looking for leaders.
Yes.
In society.
Yes.
So leadership is in decline. We are deficit in leadership, and we have to actually find solutions and answers in making a difference. And I want to get this straight. A leader is not a perfect person.
Yes.
But a leader is also one who's not afraid to make mistakes, own up to it, and be willing to improve and benefit people.
That is great.
Our world is looking for true leaders. Leadership is not defined by color or education or by economic status. Leadership is defined also as one whose goal, objective, in life is to make a positive difference and see others benefit. That's what we need today.
Wow, that is awesome. That is awesome. Let me ask you this. You know, looking back on your journey and knowing what you know now, what is one piece of advice you would have given yourself along the way?
There are 4 things which would be an advice for me and also for everyone. 1, connection. 2, motivation. 3, growth. And 4th, excellence.
Wow. Can I ask you about the first one?
Connection.
Connection.
I always want to stay connected, because in life, if you stay connected to God and connected to the right people, you will never go wrong.
Wow.
Because life is both horizontal and vertical relationship.
Yes.
Connection is very important. And since we talk about leadership, if you're going to be a good leader, you need that connection. You have to be able to get inspiration from somewhere in order for you to give out.
Yeah.
So there should be a very unique connection.
Yes.
Connection between you and your creator, and connection between you and the people.
Yes.
Number 2 is motivation. You have to be motivated. And I do this all the time. I have to motivate myself all the time. Whenever you are inspired, it is easy to be motivated. But when you are motivated without inspiration, you will still be in a rut. That is why I tell people, don't look for somebody else to motivate you. You need inspiration, because when you are inspired, you are motivated. So I believe that a true leader is one who is self-motivated.
That's good.
At times, there won't be anybody to tell you how great you're doing. And it goes with the job.
Yeah.
At times, you may not even feel great about yourself. It goes on with the day. You have to wake up and dress up and look at yourself in the mirror, because you have to, there's some things you have to do routine.
Yeah.
You have to look at yourself in the mirror every day. Because for me, the secret is when I look at myself in the mirror, I can tell whether I'm improving or something needs to be corrected. So mirror is a reflector.
Yes.
And mirror is a messenger. Mirror is telling you about your past, but also it can inspire you about your future.
That's good.
You know, so what I do is I motivate myself.
Yes, sir.
You have to be motivated, self-motivated. And if you're self-motivated, then guess what? You can continue no matter how difficult and tough things turn to be.
Wow.
You motivate yourself and keep going.
That's good.
You know, and in the Bible, you saw David, he had an experience with his men. People he led, people who trusted him, people who followed him. In fact, they went away for business or to handle what men handle. On their return, their wives, their children, and all their possessions were taken away. And the men, because he was their leader, the motivator, the inspirer, the one who inspired them for action, they lost motivation. So they turned on to David.
Yeah.
And they said, we're going to kill you. And David have to motivate himself in God.
Yes.
You have to do that. If you're a leader, don't you expect that your people will constantly be just showering positive things on you.
Yes.
There are certain times they will see the positives you do.
Wow.
They will see the negative things you do. It's part of life.
Yeah.
In life, when you are right, often people don't remember. But when they think you are wrong, they will make sure nobody forgets.
Wow.
So as a leader, this thing goes with the territory. But you have to be toughened up. You have to toughen up. You have to toughen up.
Yes.
You have to motivate yourself. There are times you don't feel like doing what you have to do
Yes.
because of discouragement. You have to toughen up. Because if you are a leader and you are connected to your source and your people, number 2, you are a leader, you are self-motivated, And number 3, you are a leader who is open to growth. People make you grow and you help them to grow. You are constantly growing. Things you knew, you improve.
Yes.
You either correct what you knew, adjust what you knew, or discard what you knew and make room for new things. That's what leaders do. You are constantly growing. Any person who is a leader and is not connected, and is not self-motivated, and is not growing, there's no way they can produce works of excellence. So a leader, these are the things you look out for. This is what I have done and I'm trying to do on a regular basis.
Wow.
I try to stay connected.
Yes, sir.
To God and the people that I lead.
Yes.
I have millions and millions of people who count on me.
Yes, sir.
I have to stay connected in order to get my strength, my inspiration, so that I'll be able to do what I need to do. I'm inspired by the life and example of Jesus.
Yes.
I'm inspired by the life and example of those who have gone ahead of us. I'm inspired by individuals who are still standing strong in the midst of their challenges. And what I learned from that inspiration helps me to be self-motivated.
Yes.
And also allow room to grow.
That's awesome.
You know, making mistakes should be normal. When I was young, I thought perfection means excellence. But I realized that it's not perfection that makes you excellent. Excellent is improving upon what you know.
Wow.
And making strides to make it better.
That's good.
That is excellence. You see, so I learned that when a person is connected, I learned a person is motivated, and a person gives room to grow, whatever you produce will be excellent.
Wow.
So these are the things that has helped me, and I believe it can help anyone for that matter. If you want to be the kind of leader you were born or created to be, these are some things you have to look out for. And if you try to put them to practice, with time, you'll master your game.
Yeah.
It's taken me all these years. I'm not there yet. I am still a work in progress. So are you, I believe.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I tell you, this was awesome. Those 4 nuggets of powerful connection, motivation, growth, and excellence. So in order for me, as an aspiring leader, I have to recognize the importance of my connection with God, my connection with the people that I lead. I have to be motivated, self-motivated. And that's a challenging thing to do at times as leaders when we are, bombarded by all of the negative critics and so forth and so on, and things don't pan out the way we want them to pan out. But we have to stay focused and stay self-motivated. And then we have to grow. And I love what you just said about growth, that, growing or, being excellent rather is not about perfection. It's about learning from your mistakes and growing from them. That was powerful. So thank you again for sharing those 4 priceless nuggets that I know is going to benefit those who are watching today. In the last few moments that we have together, and again, this has just been life-changing for me and I'm pretty sure others, I just want you to kind of speak for a second or two about what can we do to ensure that as leaders, you talked about the last thing, excellence. What can we do as leaders to continue to grow into excellence, to continue to make an impact, to continue to influence people to positive change? What would you say, if there was one thing that you could leave with us today about being that type of leader, what would you say it would be?
One thing that I would say to be a leader is, one, you have to be authentic. You have to be very authentic. Be who you are. Be authentic. And within that one thing, your authenticity, you have to look to be purposeful. Purposeful. I mean, you have to have purpose. You have to do things with purpose. Purposeful. Purposeful. Then you have to be intentional. The things you do, do them intentionally so you don't blame anybody else. If you want the glory, get ready also to take the shame if need be. And fourth, be consistent. So if I have to leave you with one thing, be authentic, be purposeful, be intentional, and be consistent. These are the four things in one that I will leave you with. So authenticity, purposefulness, intentional in all that you do, and be consistent. If it's not broken, you don't fix it. Do what you do and keep doing a good job, but be ready to improve upon it and showcase results.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Give me my bump, man. Thank you. What a joy to have you.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure.
Pleasure is mine. What a joy to come into you, and I hope you share this message with all of your friends, and make sure that you let us know how this Do Life is uplifting, helping, shaping, provoking, and also making you become the best version of you. We love and appreciate you, and God bless you. Thank you very much for watching, and on behalf of Life International, we wish you God's very best. It is our hope, our prayer, and desire to inspire you regularly and make sure that you succeed in every area of your life. We would like to give you an opportunity to contribute to Life International so that our broadcast can reach many more around the world. Continue watching, share us, and mention us to all of your friends. Thank you so much, and God bless you.